There we go.
Okay, looks like we have everybody connected, so we'll go on the record. This is People versus Thomas May. This is Kalkaska case 234826. Record should reflect that Mr. May is present by Zoom video. We have Mr. Ziegler and Mr. Vera present on behalf of the people in the probation department, and Mr. Isles is present on behalf of Mr. May. All parties appearing by Zoom. This was set at the request of defense counsel. Mr. Isles, can you tell me where we're at and how you would like to proceed today?
Your Honor, it's my understanding that my client is going to admit to violating probation for a disorderly conduct, jostling, and for driving while license suspended. And I would inform the court that in both of those cases, he's looking at fines and costs.
Okay, Agent Vera,
Yes, Your Honor.
is that a correct? Because there's 4 different alleged violations, I think. So he's going to be pleading to the 2 non-technicals. Is that right?
Correct. Count 1 was dismissed at the arraignment. So that was a mistake on my part. He had reported the police contact. And count 2 mirrors count 4. Just one's a state law, one's the violation of probation. So, and I think our plan was to amend count 3 to reference the jostling in place of the assaulted Bridget May. So.
Okay, and are you in agreement with Mr. Isles' statements regarding a recommended sentence?
Yeah, I guess I don't know if we're getting ahead of ourselves or not, but I mean, in regards to sentencing, yeah, I think he is looking at costs and fines for the new cases for the criminal behavior in both of those instances. And I'm prepared to move to sentencing for the probation violation as well, if Mr. Isles is. I did speak with the victim's mother yesterday in this pertaining to these violations, the one violation in count 3. They had no interest in attending any hearings, and they did not want to be involved in any of the sentencing as well. So.
Okay. All right, I'm just trying to get a sense of whether or not this plea is conditioned on a recommendation from you of no jail time on the violation.
Correct, Your Honor. Yes, sorry for the confusion. Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. I just want to make sure we're all on the same page here. So, Mr. Ziegler, anything further that you wanted to add?
No, Your Honor. It'd be a plea to counts 3 and 4, and 3 would be amended to reference the jostling rather than the assault.
Okay. Mr. May, have you been able to hear everything we've said so far?
I have been able to hear everything said so far.
All right. Is that how you wanted to proceed today?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you. You can lower your hand. Mr. May, you understand that you do have the right to have a hearing as to whether or not you violated your probation?
I think that's unnecessary. It's pretty clear.
Yep, I get that, but do you understand that you have the right to demand a hearing if you wanted one?
I do understand that. Yes, sir.
Okay, and you understand that by pleading guilty to these violations today that you're going to be giving up that right?
I do.
And although it sounds like the probation department's not recommending any additional jail time, you understand that the maximum possible penalty you could face would be that on your underlying charge, which is operating while intoxicated, third offense, and that's a 5-year felony. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do understand that as well, sir.
With all of that in mind, what is your plea to the probation violations that count 3 and 4 today?
Guilty.
Has anyone threatened you with anything to get you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
Has anyone promised you anything other than what we've said here on the record today?
No, sir.
Is it your own free choice to plead guilty?
Yes. Yes, sir.
And are you pleading guilty because you did violate your probation?
Yes, sir.
Okay, back in May of 2024 and also in August of 2024, were you on probation in Kalkaska County?
Yes, I was, sir.
And were you aware that one of the conditions of your probation was that you were to not violate any laws of the state of Michigan?
Yes, sir.
And did you violate a law of the state of Michigan in engaging in the crime of jostling with regard to Bridget May?
Yes, sir.
And did you violate a law of the state of Michigan in that you operated a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license?
Yes, sir. I did do that.
Okay. All right. The court finds that the plea is knowing, voluntary, and accurate. The court is satisfied there's a factual basis to support a finding that you did violate your probation as alleged at the amended count 3 and count 4. The court will accept your guilty plea to the alleged violations. And Mr. Isles, have you had a chance to talk to Mr. May about proceeding with the sentencing here today?
Your Honor, we were hoping that we could. Let's just put it that way.
Okay. Mr. May, you understand that you'd have the right to have an updated pre-sentence report prepared, and we could set this for sentencing at a later date when you could be in the courtroom with your attorney and prosecutor and your probation agent, myself.
Judge, with all due respect, I have a lot going on in life right now, and I just need to get as much of this taken care of as possible, as soon as possible, so I can start doing some other things that are I'm not trying to say they're more pressing than this, but they're pretty pressing in my life's situation. And also, excuse me, sir. And so I would just like to proceed with whatever punishment that I'm going to receive at this point, and go from there. I don't want to push this out for anybody any further.
Sure, and I understand that, but it's part of my job to make sure you understand what your rights are, and you're certainly able to waive those rights, and it sounds like you want to, but I also need to make sure that you understand. So that
Yes, sir, I do understand those rights are being waived.
Okay, all right, thank you. Mr. Barrett or Mr. Ziegler, anything on behalf of the state for sentencing?
Your Honor, I think as we stated, just it's the probation office's stand that we'll just continue probation at this point. I would like to refer Mr. May to some anger management classes. So amending his probation order to add that condition, and then also the mother and the victim have asked to have no contact with Mr. May. So with the exception of those two amended conditions of his order, we just continued probation as is. He's continuing in sobriety court as well. He's been doing well with that. So I think we just need to stay on course with that in hopes that he can complete that moving forward.
Okay, and in terms of this violation, is Mr. May any jail credit on the violation?
I did
no.
3 days in jail for the driving on a suspended. But as far as the anger management courses go, I would like to say that
Go ahead, Mr. May. He was talking to the probation officer.
oh, I apologize. I thought he was speaking to me. I apologize.
Agent Barrett, I just need to, are you aware of the violation, whether Mr. May spent any days in jail?
Your Honor, right off, I'm not. I don't know if he did any jail time I know he wasn't arrested the night of May regarding the jostling. I don't know if he went to jail. I guess I don't have that in front of me for the DWLS, the driving without a license. Mr. Ziegler, do you know if he?
I wouldn't know because it wouldn't have been in my county. I know he wasn't arrested when we charged the DV or when the DV occurred. He may have been arrested and brought in for his arraignment, so he probably has a day of credit there. I don't know about Crawford County in terms of the DWLS.
All right, I'm just gonna order that Mr. May receive credit for time served, and Agent Barrett, if you can follow up on that and just have that reflected in the judgment of sentence. You can
Yes,
provide
I
that
will.
to the clerk's office. Okay. Mr. Isles, anything that you wanted to say on behalf of your client today?
Your Honor, when this all started, my client had leukemia. Subsequent to that, in fact, he's had lesions taken off of his liver just before the jostling matter. Subsequent to that, they found out that he has anal cancer. Subsequent to that, they did some scans and found out the cancer is transferred to his lymph nodes, which of course is a superhighway to the rest of his body. He's not able to work. When he begins his chemotherapy, he's going to lose control of his bowels. And that's what he was referring to earlier about what he has on his plate. So when you fashion any fines, I would hope that you would take that into consideration that he's not going, his income is gone. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Mr. May, anything that you wanted to say today?
Yeah, I would like to say that I have 468 hours of community service to complete and I'm unable to work. And also now we're adding anger management for trying to take my daughter's phone away, which I think is ludicrous. And I don't mean any disrespect to the court, but I am getting ready to start chemo and radiation on a 5-day-a-week basis, not to mention the fact that I have to cooperate with sobriety court and maintain their meetings, the doctor's appointments meetings, and everything else. And I don't even have a driver's license. So I don't see how it benefits me to give me anger management for trying to literally stop my daughter from using inappropriate context on her phone and add and just pile on things onto my plate that I then have to deal with. And I don't mean to be too personal, but they are literally getting ready to burn the inside of my anal canal. I might not be able to walk for the next 6 months and we're going to do anger management. It's like, when does this end for me? And how much punishment do I deserve is my question.
Okay, all right, thank you. First
I
of
would
all, I'm
also
sorry,
like to note that the courts in Lansing sided with me twice on this very same matter, and the only
Stop.
and
Just stop.
all right. Mr. May, first of all, I'm sorry to hear about your medical condition. That's unfortunate. Nobody deserves to have to go through that. Second of all, we're not here to argue about facts. You pled guilty to 2 probation violations. So if you want to argue about the facts, we can withdraw your plea and we can go a different route. In terms of the violation, the court finds that it's appropriate to continue you on probation. The court is not, because of the circumstances, is not going to impose any additional jail time outside of what you've already served, which we will determine. And the court will give you credit for that amount of time. The court notes that all the fines and costs, at least according to my records, have already been paid. So it's just a matter of complying with the terms of probation. Any conditions of probation are subject to circumstances. Agent Barrett's a very reasonable individual. And Mr. May, I'm sure your medical situation and your treatments will be taken into account in terms of your obligations for probation. You do have the ability to seek an appeal of this sentence. You will be provided with papers explaining to you what your appellate rights are. And otherwise, Agent Barrett, do you need Mr. May to make any kind of contact with you in the next, or is he already aware of whatever the next contact he has to make with you?
Yes, he is, Honor. We're all set there.
so I am being ordered to do more anger management classes, I guess is what I'm asking. I don't know where the clarification is with that. What am I being ordered to do as a result of this?
Agent Barrett, can you clarify that?
So, I mean, I would be amending the probation order for to add conditions for the anger management and for the no contact with Terry Jones and Bridget at this point. The anger management classes are done via Zoom, doesn't involve any travel. It's 1 day a week. So, and obviously any health issues that, that you're dealing with would be taken into consideration if you had to miss a class here or there. But I believe they're done via Zoom in the evenings. So.
Okay. All right. Thank you. That's all for today. All parties are free to disconnect at this time.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Aaron.